Latain future kam by Olifrai ol pinini blogata pa ista oli hare mol sambia lo se mol custom story no mol ol keta.
If we don't build this kind of like forces of young people taking action in different parts of the country, then we cannot achieve our goal.
Personally, I have been very involved in this movement because I am terrified for my future and what the future holds for young people like me, and that is why I fight every day to make sure the government actually deals with climate change.
Ina from all picking in blog ni wala nung be picking in blog you falatu. All blog kata tomorrow ma bay good or you know good.
Vous pouvez faire quelque chose pour changer le climat.
Coming all the way across the world and seeing people talk about this here, there just seems to be such a lack of understanding of what the reality is in other places and other countries in the world.
It's become evident that carbon mitigation, adaptation, conservation, climate justice are 4 tracks in this fight, and they all depend upon each other for strength.
Le rêve, c'est de garantir une vie, une belle vie pour tous les gens de la région.
The message for me today, I come to you, young people from Saboso, you no act, you raise up, you move with them all for love, you try make them all activity where by help them, nature, or by minimize them all crisis, climate change, by all beginning, you the future. When I'm not thinking or look for you, life, future, we saka.
When I'm number, you shall make them, you shall help. Lo when work out we will do milesta work out them, lo you do shall work out lo benefit him full wall.
No matter you want big man or you want small man or you want beginning, everyone you must talk about. Lo you me look mo you me work out for them. When them we start affect them immediately. Bye, Kamina. Business blow one man, business blow you me everyone. You must talk about, you fight against climate change. Yeah, now.
Me voulais start playing part me vla, or some all grassroots people. So message for me, when we want to tell them out, you me or some all people, you miss all people countries. Where you miss producing more cash here. Meeting say me, you me come one time where you must look safe. Me vla all people who mi all grassroots people mi no kat any wealthy pe mi stop make effort lo make all protected areas mi create them all marine conservation areas land conservation areas mi create them some full of long adaptation so mi play part mi so message to me mi blow you me too you me stop lo big countries mi must look save walk mi stop make lo all grassroots people and then you take them attention lo you one mi make them lo you do is stop reduce mo you stop cut them down how you stop produce more carbon emission ko lo
We watched and recorded the largest witness calving event ever caught on tape. Just breaking apart in front of your eyes. We're just observers. It's two little dots on the side of the mountain.
Suppose whole wall okata look me tok mi want them say okata only must cut concern especially okata only stop pene molto di cash quanta lo atmosphere okata must cut concern lo one when villa stop facing especially all lo small islands villa from villa access money no big one all symbol kita lo big villa country mi cut concern too from say mi villa island villa is small too much villa no service time we stop comes it suppose climate change by still mi villa live yet or mi villa by all island mi villa drown
ini kat on message yo sempre mi expression mi ko lol kita o sempre side to climate change especially lol pipi club factory sa mi pinare message se oli tale se pa oli no sabe stop mol factories pro kita from hemi money pro kita oli no think about se oli sta make lo place pro kita pe sta affect them tu mi flower ino kat lo fly no make them too much climate change sama kata
community plan mi stop semblante impact from mi sleep lo coastal area even though mi walk plan lo sa resource management mi stop conserve all reefs mi all fish all different species on instalo solota from climate mi stop change mi make say temperature lo solota mi stop increase plante
mablomi mi grow up long one family we only live many long system long all bubu one day mi talem lomi all yam lomi you know all palayam we must stop keeping you know mokat si mama supposed to understand me situation long climate change and we have them all cross flame long time will no more resistant no time now climate change and we no got time with them custom garden
so suppose climate change is one global issue then you mean not claim we are not claiming for one area or you establish them we are citizens from this world planet amen.
About changes, that's a big change in interrelated. Before most of everything is green. Can find water in the rivers, you know, let the water. But now it's big change. Everything is dry, less raining. So people didn't have solution. They go to the big city for work, for business. Most of family now they are waiting for people to send some money from big city now.
Le grand problème dans la vie de nomades dans le désert, c'était l'eau.
On est 22 personnes avec les enfants.
Oui.
Avant la famille, on avait de la rivière là, juste à côté de la rivière là. Mais à cause de la catastrophe, les chameaux, les chèvres, ils ne se trouvent pas à boire et tout. on est obligé avec la mobilette et les vélos, on part dans la montagne là-bas pour ramener pour eux. Si vous avez de l'argent, beaucoup d'argent, vous partez de le village, vous achetez un groupe de moteurs, vous faites creuser avec la machine, vous avez de l'eau. Mais les nomades, tu vas faire quoi de le village? Tu fais comme ça, il n'y a rien. Tu vas faire les enfants, les chèvres, le moto, où? Il n'y a rien. Il ne peut pas vivre. Un nomade, un Touareg, un bédouin, il ne peut pas vivre dans le village.
Ça, comme vous le voyez, donc c'est les conséquences de l'érosion. Donc, tous les sédiments qui viennent de la montagne, là, ça tombe directement dans les champs. Pour tout cela, il y a deux choses, donc il y a deux facteurs. Donc, c'est la responsabilité humaine, c'est la première, parce qu'il y a une surexploitation de couvert végétal dans la montagne. Donc, ça élimine la végétation donc, qui stabilise la terre, donc c'est un premier facteur. Et un deuxième facteur, je crois qu'il y a aussi un changement climatique parce qu'il n'y a pas les orages d'avant, c'est pas comme aujourd'hui. Donc maintenant, il n'y a que de la pluie forte. Lorsqu'il y a un orage, c'est toujours un orage très fort. Et donc je crois que c'est ces deux facteurs qui ont amené à ça. Il y a des gens qui coupent déjà le blé, mais comme vous voyez, il n'est pas encore prêt. Donc il est encore vert, donc ça comme vous le voyez. Pourquoi ils font ça? Parce qu'ils ont peur des inondations. Donc, parce que lorsqu'il pleut, il y a de l'eau qui va submerger toute les terres agricoles, il va endommager toute la récolte. La plupart des gens du village disent qu'il y a un mois de différence entre avant et maintenant.
Somehow selected by UNESCO group to join an expedition to Antarctica, and I became the first Vietnamese ever to set foot on that continent. So that trip is not only amazing, but also it really turned my life upside down. I joined the environmental movement, which basically didn't exist at that time. So I thought that, okay, then I will, if there's no environmental movement or climate movement, I will just set up one. And so I started to gather young people around me and start to go everywhere and talk about climate change and global warming. At that time, 1997, like nobody knew anything about global warming in Vietnam, and nobody could really relate, like ice melting in Antarctica and Vietnam, like what's the connection? Right now, Vietnam is a victim of climate change. We are one of the most impacted countries and cities and regions or deltas impacted by climate change. The Vietnamese people's really seeing that climate change is really happening. It's not just like a threat in the future. We just experienced record heats every single year. Every year we had floods, drought, sanitation, and people started to see that, hey, this is really a crisis, not just a warning. is still planning to build a lot more coal plants in the country, and especially in the Mekong Delta, where it's like the bowl of rice of the whole country. I want more people speaking up about that. And I want, for example, the international community who live, I don't know, in the US, Australia, Japan, who have the voice to influence those, for example, banks or investors who are trying to invest in coal projects in Vietnam. Maybe this international community can have that power that we don't have here in the country. That's a message that I want to send to everyone. While in Vietnam, community organizations like us are trying to do small things to help the local people to adapt and to avoid conflicts, we also want to depend on you, on international pressures.
What we do here in this part of the world is more or less because of what's going on in, say, island countries like Vanuatu, how resilient they are in the face of sea level rise, in the face of actual climate emergency, is the reason why we're going forward with our voices, we're taking the streets, we're occupying places. I really think that we depend on each other as to content, also communication, bridging that gap. So what happens there does not mean that we're not affected over here and vice versa.
But you can also really see the codependence between the activists, because we are activists here in these countries that are protesting against the government, and we are trying to mobilize people and get people to wake up that do not see the issues yet, and they don't feel it yet because everything is still okay here. And that's why we need the activists on the other side that are already suffering to tell their stories, to enable us to wake them up so that goes full circle.
From the ashes in the Amazon to the aluminum cartels in eastern India, large groups of people are feeling the crippling effects of this crisis already. Communities of color breathe in 40% more polluted air than white communities across the US. There is a direct correlation between the subjugation of minorities and the perpetuation of environmentally dangerous practices.
Why do we only connect with people whose problems we can experience firsthand? Why don't we connect with people whose problems are so horrible that we will never have the chance to experience them firsthand because we're privileged?
Donc on essaie de travailler, de faire nos mieux, mais je dois dire un message aux États, aux grands États industriels, qui moi je crois que ce sont la première cause de ce changement climatique, d'arrêter le carbone et de faire leur devoir envers l'humanité, envers notre planète.
Mi sta traembes plomi blo conservem one area o blo lugatem one life cycle blo one plan blo ami kat one moste bo benefit blo benefitim ways we you must to support climate change. Mi kat one privilege na ya blo mi tok li blo sta lugumi an meeting se mi kat power blo mi talem lo you we you sta blo America or China, especially lo people city. Mi vela sta doing part blo mi vela finish. Blo how now blo you mi sa we managem lo stopem o blo putum risk blo climate change and mi go down.
Pacific was a Vanuatu, one small island state surrounded by a huge ocean. Time we got wind, time we got cyclone, time we got all contrasting or extreme weather conditions, low hot with them cold. You must have a look, say, me affecting me big one. I mean, one something we must continue to take them, adapt them, way below life play me, how we live, adaptation, and very important.
conservationist or me one man we work plan lo context lo village lo me work around lo region we stable people lo how now only survey adapt lo crisis lo climate change.
Make sure you think about his size, about his length, and then make sure about maybe 20 centimeter. You flip the rope open, and you push this inside, and then you push it back.
Coral lumi from true coral lumi na you may say you may have fish, you may have one security lo barrier reef lumi. So the time you plan make one necessary, and by necessary I'm start after 6 months to 7 months. Then I'm supposed to transplant the one most surveyed site where you meeting by coral and me help with them.
Lomi talent straight work ya, emino one issue work. Immunity commitment lo yumi nature mo yumi lupatem wanem na yumi mekem tete.
Time kam lo all meeting so sema emi help me lo mi save help community plomi or pikinini plomi or adaptations when we learn them through lo all naravala communities or naravala island we all get all stop make them finish lo island block get all like replanting of trees or replanting lo coral from Jumi Save say all resources yeah only depend on each other only also one chain suppose you take him hemia Thomas by chain hemi proclubly say at one cap
all resource pro you me where you me stop trying to protect the marketa mo promote the marketa suppose you me think ikopak lo time we go the migrate them wall time go the migrate them wall every something is stop also we go them one them all bubu pro you me all use with them olikata sense we all use them the you me with it you me come here you me use we inokata limit long him mo you mean destroy and plant it. Because kita only need him help you me protect them kita too. Only sabe help you me long one fall away where you me stop go inside lo one toko you me start them climate change.
The countryside they call me the Queen of Fog. A funny name, but I feel I am at the service of fog. And I fell in love with the concept and the idea and with the phenomenon itself. The rainfall system that used to feed the deep aquifers, recharge the deep aquifers, everything is desiccated, and that the level of water is dropping and seriously dropping. But the exploitation is increasing. And then now when the rain comes, it comes in a flash flood.
خدموا دار السي حماد الجمعية دار السي حماد خصوصا مع شي ديال الضبابة بروجي تاع الضبابة. One meter in this net is giving us 22 liters of water in one day, and more if we have a lot of fog.
أنا غير فوقين ولا لبس لا رتب التاج ما غير لبس مش كاب غير لبس ونتب ورسم التاج ملون.
The hay
is the city of peace and justice, and to some people also security. The International Criminal Court, they currently recognize 4 core crimes, 4 international serious crimes, which are war crimes, genocide, crimes against humanity, and crimes of aggression. What we're advocating for is for a 5th crime, which is ecocide, and it is the serious loss, damage, and destruction of an ecosystem, including climate and cultural heritage.
When the law of ecocide is ratified as the amendment to the Rome Statute, the 5th missing crime against humanity, when industrial activity is limited and prohibited, because ecocide law actually prohibits, it stops it. And all the other things we're doing with all our energy, with all our passion, with all our commitment to try desperately to deal with the crisis we're facing, it's a bit like mopping up with the tap running. In other words, we're getting nowhere. Ecocide law turns the tap off. That is its vital, urgent, important solution.
My vision is that if there are more people like me and the people like around me, if there are more of that around, we can make the movement a lot stronger. So I set up this organization called Change, because I believe in the power of change. I think people have to change their mindset, their behavior, their attitude. We have a lot of artists, and young artists or painters, who have joined us to make murals, like big murals in the city, with climate change pictures or wildlife or how our life is threatened and what people can do. Also, it's a way for us to really make this messaging and campaigning kind of goal less sensitive and confrontational to the government, and in a way make people and the government and the business and everything think that, oh, it's something positive that we can do.
We call this painting two words. It means half of it is the plastic word and half of it is the real word, which is the beautiful nature and everything if we protect the environment.
Hi, my name is Hương. I am an artist. So when Change asked me to help them with the project, so I was happy to create my painting, and now I'm very happy that everybody together painted on the world.
These photos are a kind of overview of what we've been doing in Extinction Rebellion Scotland. The first main action that we did was back in January, and that was the occupation of the Scottish Parliament. Basically 45 activists went in to the Parliament on a guided tour, and when we got to the debating chamber, we sat down in MSP's seats and we held a citizens' assembly to talk about the climate emergency. We did an action here where 5 of us locked ourselves to the Parliament railings, and we sent the keys, the bike locks, to 5 politicians from the 5 parties that are in the Scottish Parliament.
I'm with the fossil free movement in The Hague, and I'm fighting the fossil fuel industry. And what got me into this climate action was my great concern and my realization that our government isn't going to solve this. So we, the people everywhere in the world, should rise up and fight this. Luckily, we grow. There are lots of people joining our movement, and we will stand up to our governments, to our fossil fuel industry, to stop this.
Extinction Rebellion will always be a movement dedicated to non-violent direct action.
People watching and listening might think you're risking your professional life by being here. Has that crossed your mind?
It has. But the other risk, the risk of me not being here, the risk that we face is far too great. There are no jobs on a dead planet.
And more than anything, we want action. So you can either try and smack us down, smack us down, smack us down, and we will continue rising, and we will get louder, and we will get more intense and with longer duration occupations and mess things up and disrupt even more for you. Or you can work with us and actually protect our future. And that's kind of the options, really.
I would say that what kind of made me into an activist, somebody who was actually willing to devote his life to trying to change the way that we do things. Well, first of all, being a father, I have two daughters, they're 15 and 13 now, and I would like to leave them a better world than the one that we've inherited. I was studying to be a marine biologist, and I was studying the life on the rocky shores in northern Spain. And the last weekend of my field research, there was a massive oil spill, the Prestige oil disaster. This is November 2002. And basically all of the organisms that I've been studying for the last 3 years got wiped out by this oil spill. And that kind of made me realize that just studying and finding out information about the ecological emergency, about climate change wasn't enough, that I needed to actually take that forward and take it into action.
One of the big victories we had with the egg fossil free was that the municipality dropped the grant of 100,000 euros to the Generation Discover Festival of Shell.
It's a big greenwashing festival, really meant to brainwash kids into believing that oil and gas will be here for decades and decades to come. And our city council subsidized this with an annual grant, and we made it stop with actions and everything. So we're very proud of it.
In Utrecht we had a climate march called Utrecht stroomt over, which means Utrecht is flooding over, because that's what's going to happen if we don't stop the rise of sea level. And we demanded to the Utrecht municipality that they declare a climate emergency. And they decided upon this a couple of weeks later, 2 weeks later, and they decided to declare a climate crisis, which is a small technical point, but it's still a win. And now it's another thing that you can just tell climate deniers or people thinking it's not that urgent. You can say, no, even your city has declared a crisis on this, because it is.
The generation before us are going to die of old age. My generation's going to die of climate change. And I think that gives a whole new aspect of anger as well as hope and a real urgency to the situation.
I think one of the most important struggles for my generation is going to be the ability to fight climate change with a lack of hope. But I don't even know how to describe to people how to be able to be active without hope, but it doesn't take hope to love.
I felt lost, alone and isolated. I felt like there was this huge problem that no one was doing anything about. No one even seemed to know it was there. And I saw some people from Extinction Rebellion get active, take some bridges in London, and I thought this is finally some people matching the scale of the problem with the scale of their actions. And since then I've been involved in Extinction Rebellion, and it has been insanely liberating to stand up for what I believe in and to live out my morals every day of my life.
And being human means to deal with the problems that are threatening us, and in this process, in this trajectory, we can look each other in the eye, you can look yourself in the eye, and you can band together and battle this. If you find other people that also have the same sentiment, then you can also, that brings a lot of happiness, and that sparks a lot of fun and joy, and it's actually so inspiring and so motivating.
I think hope plays a very interesting role in the movement. I think it's very important for momentum. You need people to be hopeful to get them to act. But I think the problem with the type of hope that we're seeing around us is that in an attempt to focus on the future and focus on how bright our future can be, we fail to recognize that there are some situations that are actually hopeless. And I know that it may seem counterproductive to look at situations as hopeless, but it really isn't, because I think it makes you understand the gravity of the issue.
I am Hilda, and I am the founder of Fridays for Future in Uganda. I am missing my classes right now, same way I have missed them for the last 6 weeks to create climate awareness. It's not a surprise, because I once missed 3 months of school due to the effects of climate change we experienced in my family and community. And my father wasn't able to raise my tuition fees. I am a victim of this whole climate crisis, and I am not ashamed to say so. After the massive effects of climate change in my home village, the heavy rains, the strong winds that washed away our crops, leaving the land bare, the constant dry spells that left the streams dry, my parents had to sell off our land and livestock to sustain our lives. And when the money was over, it was a question of survival and death. I am lucky that I'm still surviving, and I will I am lucky that I am still surviving, and I will not take this chance for granted, because people are dying every day. I made a decision to protect the only place I call Earth. And by this, I joined fellow young activists all over the globe to protect our future. Through endless fights, sacrifices, we hustle our way, because this is our future. I will tell you that we are a generation of scared people, but very ambitious, very united, very persistent, and very good at action.
My grandchildren and all of their generation. I'm also here for the poorest peoples who have done the least to cause climate breakdown and are suffering the most, and are predicted to suffer dreadfully in the coming years, as eventually we all will, unless we do the most enormous turnaround, which I don't even know if that's possible now. But if it isn't possible, then I am here to help us tell the truth and prepare for what we need to prepare together.
Sorry guys. He's already got one. Alright guys.